What's going on, everybody? This is Arcade. Welcome back to another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. So today we're starting a brand new series on the channel called Stud or Dud. What we're doing in this series is basically taking a look at some of the niche champions in the contest, and as you can guess, our first champion to be featured in this series is Taskmaster. So Taskmaster is a really cool and fun champion to play with, and he has some really unique abilities up his sleeve. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to play this guy and also testing him in Realm of Legends to see if he is worth ranking up. So what you need to know with Taskmaster basically is he is an ability accuracy reducing champion. So what you need to do when you start the fight with Taskmaster is you need to punish the opponent's attack with an exact same attack of your own. For example, when the opponent performs a medium attack, you parry them, you land a heavy attack. Landing a heavy attack actually places an exploit weakness on the opponent, which means the next time you land a medium attack of your own, it is going to place a concussion debuff on the enemy, reducing their ability accuracy by a flat 10%. And you can stack these ability accuracy reducing debuffs up to 5 with Taskmaster, which basically means that you're going to be reducing the opponent's ability accuracy by 50%. That's right, dude. And every time you stack it up to 5, which means once you have 5 concussion debuffs on the enemy, what it's going to do is it's going to convert that debuff into a passive debuff lasting a little bit longer, which means that you now get a 50% reduction in ability accuracy flat off the bat, and you are free to deal damage as you do. So what we're going to be doing is jumping into Realm of Legends, taking a look at what this guy can do in terms of gameplay, and finding out if that reduced ability accuracy is actually worth relying on in real life content. Because if that ability does not come in handy, and if we're still stuck with dealing with the opponent's annoying habits, then what's the point, man? So let's just jump into some gameplay. Alright, now jumping into some gameplay with Taskmaster, we have a real simple fight here with Taskmaster. We're going to take a look at how his abilities actually trigger. So what we're going to do is bait a hit from Winter Soldier, land a heavy attack, get that exploit weakness on his medium. Once we land a medium of our own, we get a concussion on him. This time we do the same thing again, exploit weakness medium, and what we need to do is land a medium, and boom, there we go, man, we got a second concussion on him. This time we exploit a light attack. So what we're going to do is land a light attack to refresh all those concussions and apply a new concussion. So yeah, man, that's all you need to know about how to play Taskmaster. Now let's take a look at how his ability actually works. Alright, so the first fight we have here for you is the Realm of Legends Juggernaut. So this guy actually gains an unstoppable, which can be reduced by ability accuracy. So point to note here, this is a pre-buff Juggernaut, which means 1, he won't be starting the fight with an unstoppable, and 2, he can be parried when he's unstoppable. So right there we got our first concussion off on him. We're going to punish another hit. This time we're punishing his light attack. So right there we got our second concussion debuff. Again, parry heavy. We got another exploit. Now we're going to be landing a light attack to punish him. As you can see right there, we got the refresh. And now we land another heavy attack to punish his medium attack. So right there, as you can see, we're going to be landing another concussion. That's the 4th. So the next concussion we apply is actually going to convert all these concussion debuffs into a passive concussion. Right there, as you can see, he now has 50% reduced ability accuracy. So what we're going to do is bait his special, and right there we did, and even with 50% reduced ability accuracy, he still got that unstoppable, which is really disappointing, dude. And at this point you get the gist of this character. He does something really cool. He does it in a very cool way, but as you can see, it's still not enough, and all that build up is actually gone to total waste, dude. And we have our next concussion ready for him, but as you can see, he triggered unstoppable twice there, and at both times we failed to actually negate that. So as you can see, we're going to try another cycle, get another passive concussion on him. Right there, we punished his special attack this time, which is really cool. I did want to show you that you can actually exploit weakness with special attacks as well. However, those are a bit unreliable, and I do suggest managing the heavy attacks in a way that you aren't relying on the special attacks, because every time you have to punish his special one, you have to punish it using your own special one. You cannot punish his special one using a special two. And right here, as you can see, we did exploit his special one, but since we actually launched a special two, it's not going to land a concussion on him. So yeah, man, you really want to avoid the whole special attack punishment technique. You just want to stick to his light and medium punishments. And right there, as you can see, we exploited another of his medium attacks weakness. We're going to land another concussion, and yeah, man, he is just getting unstoppable every single time, which basically means that so far Taskmaster seems to be like a dud, dude. He is not standing up, and as you can see, his basic hits and his crits aren't dealing any extraordinary damage either, which means that even in the basic standard fight, Taskmaster is not going to be giving you those big yellow numbers. So now we're going to be taking a look at the next fight in Realm of Legends, which is Realm of Legends Wolverine. Moving on to the Realm of Legends Wolverine fight, we do have the regeneration here, which is really impossible to control unless you have a really highly reliable regen reversal or a heal block champion. So taking this fight with Taskmaster, what we want to see is whether or not his concussions can actually stop Wolverine from triggering his regeneration procs. So right at the start, we do land a heavy attack, and we are trying to punish as many hits as we can and get the concussion going as quick as possible. So right there, we punished his light attack, and that is our second concussion on Wolverine. And now what we want to do is complete the cycle again, do another heavy attack, punish his medium, actually bait out that SP2, never mind, we just go in, get that third debuff locked in. Now what we want to do is we want to punish his attack with a special 2, get that fourth concussion, and now the next concussion we have is actually going to be a passive. And right there, as you can see, we punished his attack, and now we're going to exploiting his medium. We do have a concussion, and so far, man, with all the concussions that we had on Wolverine, he hasn't triggered his regen, at least not as much as he rather would in any other matchup. So as far as I can tell, the concussion is actually working, and his regen is actually being stopped. And right there, we did lose all of our concussions, and we are starting to build up from scratch, which is the first concussion. And this is one of those things that I really hate about Taskmaster, is that once the concussion debuff wears off, you do have to start the cycle entirely, which means that you can't just build him up for one regular fight itself. You have to build him up multiple times throughout at least one fight, which actually just makes him really impractical, especially compared to champions like Corvus, where you build them up once and you're just golden for the rest of the quest, man. Even Morningstar, even though it needs multiple ramp ups, you only have to ramp her up once per fight, which actually seems pretty reliable. But when it comes to Taskmaster, maybe they change this in the future. They are buffing 2 champions every month, or at least trying to. And Taskmaster, from his ability, seems like he does not necessarily need a complete rework. Maybe just a bit of tuning, maybe a bit of more, you know, shift in direction to his abilities and how these concussions actually work, because I really enjoy the way he punishes the opponent's attack, and that really does give a good throwback to the champion's origins in the comics, which is that he is going to study your attacks and he's going to completely copy them, and he will have a counter for everything you do once he has a complete gist of how you fight. And right there, as you can see, we did punish him with a special 2 and get the passive. We are trying to put a dent into this Wolverine, but honestly, dude, every time he triggers his regen, all the damage that we just dealt across 100 hits just goes to waste. Right there, we're 88 hits in, and his regen is just topping him off back to almost full health, man. And yeah, dude, Wolverine does not seem like he is going to be going down today. Alright everybody, so before we end the video, I just want to showcase Taskmaster's ability as a defender. So I'm bringing Nick Fury to duel a Taskmaster target. So right here, as you can see, we're inflicting a lot of debuffs on him. So if you're not familiar with Taskmaster's defender, every time he is inflicted with a debuff, Taskmaster reduces the potency of that debuff by 10%. And if you inflict 10 debuffs on him, he reduces the potency of all debuffs by 100%, which basically means once you've landed 10 debuffs on Taskmaster, he's going to go completely debuff immune, which actually makes him a pretty good and pretty solid defender on lower tier wars, tier 5 and below. But I don't think that this actually justifies the state of this character in the game, and I do think that he needs a rework or at least a tune-up in a certain way where his mechanics are more reliable and he is more easy to build up. So yeah guys, that's all I have for you today in this video. I do hope that you learned a bit about Taskmaster, and to summarize my thoughts on this character, I do think that he is really cool and I think his mechanics are really appropriate in terms of what this character should be in the game. However, the potency of his concussions along with the ramp up time this character needs, he's just not a practical champion to play in everyday content. Plus, there's just better skill champions right now that really overshadow him by a mile. And yeah, man, I think that as long as this champion is tuned up and his numbers are shifted a bit to match the standards of the game today, this guy can really be a cool champion. I wouldn't say he's a complete dud and completely useless in the state of this game. If you're not a stud, man, you are a dud. And Taskmaster, he's a dud, dude. So that's all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which champion you would like to see next in this series, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Peace.